I don't think Oregon is who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case here. Now, and actually, Indiana, I said this a few episodes ago when people were thinking, who's going to be this year's Indiana? It's Indiana. Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. With me is Jeff Dover. Let's talk football.
We're a couple of average football fans that watch college, the NFL. We're currently here on our Missouri-Kansas City road trip. We hope we can earn your like and subscribe today. This is our review of the Indiana-Oregon game. What are your initial thoughts?
I don't think Oregon is who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the case here. Now, and actually, Indiana, I said this a few episodes ago when people were thinking, who's going to be this year's Indiana? It's Indiana. They're going to win 10 or 11 games if they keep doing this.
Indiana is going to be this year's Indiana. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, all of a sudden, it's amazing how things can change. We talked about that with the UCLA-Michigan State game. If you haven't watched that one, go back to watch our review of that one. But Oregon, like, it feels like their season has changed a lot today from this game, because all of a sudden, when you look at their schedule now, you know, they beat Montana State, Oklahoma State, not good, Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State, all of a sudden doesn't feel like a big win, right? And then losing to Indiana, and they got really out-muscled by Indiana. Indiana's defense was the story of this game, which is not a good sign if you're Oregon. It's like, so all of a sudden you've lost to the only ranked team you've played. Is what it is, sort of what it, even though Penn State was ranked, you know what I mean? Like,
but everyone beats Penn State this year.
I know, but it's like, if you're an Oregon fan, you're concerned going forward.
Yeah, this whole season complexion changed on today because of how this game went and because of how the Penn State season is unfolding, and that the shine is being taken off that win big time right now. Yeah.
No, and the key thing was, it was Indiana's defense. They held Oregon rushing to 81 yards. Now, some of that is minus 27 because of the Dante Moore's the sacks, but they be able to control that much on, control the other team from running the ball. Dante Moore had 2 picks. I think both of them came in the fourth quarter, and they're just trying to make something happen. But that's because the running game was bottled up, and it was forcing them to have to try to make stuff happen through the air, which they couldn't do either.
Yep. I mean, they held the Oregon offense to just 13 points. I mean,
that's a good point. So the score was 30-20, but 7 of them came on a pick six. So that's just 13 points on offense.
Right. And that's a moment, that pick six is a moment where Oregon can steal the momentum back, but then Indiana just took it right back from them. So
Indiana's defense was the story of the game. They had 6 sacks, 8 tackles for a loss, which is a lot. And so it really dominated the game.
So, okay, that's a really good point about Indiana. So last year, they would just feed teams into the wood chipper and just blow them out, right?
Yep. And then offense was unstoppable.
Right. And then they had the tough one against Ohio State when it was obvious they were just outmanned. In that game. I mean, they did their best, but obviously as that game unfolded, it's just, okay, we just don't have the personnel to beat this team.
Yep.
But they would boat race just about everyone else.
Yeah.
This year, they can kind of win games different ways. So they blew out Illinois. This looked like one of Indiana's wood chipper games from last year.
Yep.
Then they win a rock fight against Iowa State. Iowa. Sorry, not Iowa State. A typical Iowa rock fight. But again, 2015, and they can go into the mud there and win an ugly game. And then they kind of did sort of a rock fight here too, where they won with the defense leading the way here too. So this is like a complete team. It's got all the pieces that you would want. They can run the score up or get into a track meet if it has to be a track meet, but they can win a rock fight too.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the defense looks legit. And you need, in order to go far, like either in a conference championship game or the playoffs, your defense has to be amazing. And that was really the key thing, to your point, they didn't look like they have the personnel, the size, the strength to compete in the playoffs last year, but they do now. They absolutely looked like the part against Oregon, and everyone thought going into this game, everyone thought Oregon's roster was one of the best ones in college football. So and they stood toe to toe with them and really dominated on defense.
Yeah, and they've got dudes at all levels of the defense. So they've got an all-world cornerback in Pons and Kamara and a couple other guys and Wyatt on the at the front. So they've got guys on this team. They might not be national names, but they should be becoming national names, I would think.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden on the schedule, the banger game is coming up in a couple of weeks against UCLA. Like that, that could be a massive game.
Yep.
Because UCLA's only got one loss in conference, and they look like they're on a tear right now.
No, that's a good point. We just did a review of the UCLA Michigan State game, so if you haven't watched that, go back to watch that one. But no, that's for Indiana going forward. They got a game against Michigan State, which seems like it'll be able to handle. And then, like you said, that just sets up the UCLA games really big. And that's really, and then after that, it's just Maryland, Wisconsin, Purdue. Like there's not much left on the schedule. It's all in front of them for Indiana, which is a really big deal.
And a crazy thing to say, the remaining schedule, you would have thought Penn State's the banger. I think you can just,
I don't know.
They're going to be heavily favored in that game.
Yeah, that could be a lot of stuff. It could be a different coach for that point. And
could be different. Well, it's for sure not going to be, it's not going to be Aller. It's going to be that other kid starting. And who knows if the Penn State is going to have anything left, any desire left to play. I mean, all of their hopes are gone. It's already gone.
That feels like that game at Penn State, how it looked like at the beginning of the season and how it looks now is completely different. Completely different. Like before, it was sort of, it was almost like an automatic loss you were chalking up at the beginning of the season. And now it's
on Indiana's schedule. You had the Oregon State game. You probably had Illinois, Oregon, and Penn State circled as like
not Oregon State, but Oregon.
Sorry, you had Illinois for sure circled. You had Oregon circled, and you had Penn State circled.
Yes.
Now the biggest circle is around UCLA. they look like just a powerhouse.
It's a different team.
The way they've played their last two games.
It's a different team.
Yeah. So it's going to be, I mean, and whatever for whatever UCLA just did to Michigan State.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, you don't want to overlook any of these teams because like week to week teams can just show up differently. But you got to think Indiana's favored in all the rest of these games.
Yeah, held Oregon at 267 yards, limited under 100 yards rushing, under 200 yards throwing. Like that's a complete shutdown of a team at Oregon.
And you survived a pick six.
Yeah.
You still put a team away by 2 scores, surviving a pick six. That's like, there's a lot to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know they were just the better team versus, well, I guess not really necessarily a foregone conclusion they were the better team. By the end of this game, it was obvious they were the better team.
Yeah.
But surviving a pick six is a big deal.
Yeah, it is. No, and Mendoza is a difference maker. Like he looked amazing last year. Really big deal that Indiana got him in the off season. But he looks legit. He played super well, and that good defense and a good QB. That's a pretty good recipe for going forward.
I think Mendoza was the most significant. Him and Beck are the most significant transfers from last year.
Yeah, and I don't know if you would have said that in the offseason, but it was.
I'm on the West Coast, so I paid attention to Mendoza.
Right. No, I knew he was good, but I'm just saying like there was some really important, impactful transfer like people had for other things, but at the end of the day, if Indiana is going to be this good and is undefeated right now. Then I don't think everyone had that in their bingo card either. But because of that, Mendoza's really hit.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I had him on the bingo card. It's just the majority of the viewing population that's East Coast.
Yeah,
they don't quite catch all of the West Coast.
No, I get that, so, but I don't. Yeah,
put it this way. His profile should have been nationally as high as Beck going to Miami, but I don't think as many people just really paid attention.
I agree.
And then he is ripping it up. I mean,
yes,
he's
really, really good quarterback.
He's going to be one of the front running prospects in the NFL. Him and Sawyer Robertson, another one that probably doesn't get enough national attention. If you haven't been watching Baylor, you should watch Baylor. All right. Well,
and it just looks the part too. For he's 6'5", 225, like easy delivery, strong arm.
Nice,
good decision making. Like
he can actually play the position through progressions, all that.
From Florida, from Miami.
There you go. All right. Well, what can we say about both teams? It's the only one loss, but when you compound it with how bad Penn State looks, all of a sudden we've got shaky arrows. I did guess. Sideways and slightly up for Oregon, but sort of sideways.
The foundation rocked a little bit with what just happened with Indiana. Now, again, their schedule upcoming isn't exactly murderer's row. They've got Rutgers and Wisconsin and Minnesota, USC and Washington. Like they're winnable games on that schedule. Right now, there's no one ranked left in the rest of their schedule. So it's concern. You can't be an Oregon fan and not be concerned after this loss.
Right. Yeah, I guess, yeah, man, you wouldn't. Good for them. The schedule is going to be helping them out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no. I think it was it's no Michigan, no Ohio State. So it's a hell of
a schedule for this year. So they control their own fate still, though.
Yep.
They It's only one conference loss. The only thing there is they don't have the opportunity to pick off Ohio State, and win a tiebreak there. So they, as weird,
can't afford another slip up.
As weird as this sounds, they could already be on the outside looking in.
Yes, you're right. Because of their schedule, because you can only beat who's on your schedule and who's in front of you, and you don't have an opportunity to really separate yourself from another team if you don't have a real quality matchup with something.
I know we're jumping way, way, way ahead, but it could be that even just that loss to Indiana messes up their chance to get into the game.
You're right. I mean, it feels like a lot shifted today. Like it was with the Penn State, with what happened to them, with what happened to UCLA. Like the Big Ten outlook is really shifted.
So this is something that always happens with Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
They drop a game somewhere in their schedule where you just don't expect them to drop it. Now, it could be in this case, Indiana's just this.
Well, they didn't last year, but I know what you mean. Historically, Oregon is.
Well, you could even say the massive blowout loss.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, you're like, really, you weren't even competitive in that one.
Yeah.
Like obviously they ran the table last year, but until they beat that team that ended up blowing their doors off in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But year over year, there's always a game in there. You think, how did you lose that one?
Yeah.
And so last year they run the table, and then that awful loss comes right away in the.
And there was that Georgia game, I think the year before that, where they just got boat raced that first game. But yeah, no, you're right. I mean, this was concerning to lose like this at home, and it was just how it happened too. It was just their offense really struggled for the first time and was really held in check, which was concerning.
It's concerning. Well,
in Indiana, everything looks up. Everything looks fantastic.
Arrows up for Indiana across the board. Like we said, they can win shootouts and they can win rock fights. So they just look solid
and really good personnel, in the size, and it really, unlike previous years, it really looks like they're on the. They've got the personnel now to compete at this level in the Big Ten.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll see how the rest of the season goes here. Okay, so you got anything else on your list?
That's good.
All right. So, we appreciate you being here. We know our channel is small. So if you'd like what we got going on and you'd like to support us, like and a subscribe goes a long way. All right. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barber, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.